shan't be recording in my gown. Thank you. You have... Guys, Kabana's a weird person. She has tea with oat milk. Let's talk about that, because that is a topic of discussion that I cannot, as a black person, let you guys unknowingly be a part of this community without knowing that. Like, I want you to opt into that information.
There are more people than you think who drink oat milk.
Yeah, I know, because we're not like, milk is not like, it's not good for us inherently.
Oat milk, dude. You just don't know that oat milk, it's actually delicious. It is so, yeah, it's creamy. It's just so delicious.
In the comments below, just tell Kabano
what you need to do.
Hashtag oat milk, hashtag no oat milk.
You need to have I know you don't have chamomile with milk, but try it. Chamomile, oat milk,
so
cinnamon.
Oh my gosh.
You will sleep. You'll sleep.
You'll sleep regardless if you drink chamomile.
But that sleep
not
will
the
be
oat milk.
Luxurious, that sleep.
Anyway, just let us know what your beverages of choice are in the bottom so we can judge you like I'm judging Kapano. What have you been thinking about this week? Or this afternoon or whenever?
Why didn't you tell me that this was the topic? Okay.
What do you mean? How do you start a conversation?
I've been thinking about like your signature offer, right? And I feel like not signature offer, but your signature funnel.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that you know that this right here
is the moneymaker.
This is my moneymaker, this one, right? And you don't land on it. If you're lucky, you'll land on it the first time, but you won't know it's it until you try others. And then you find that fit, because it's a fit of top of funnel activities, middle, it's all of those things have to fit together.
Yeah.
And you might find that, like, even for us, when we started, we had the webinar, Seven Thoughts of a Seven-Figure Woman.
Yes.
Right? And it brought in leads.
A lot.
But
like
the wrong
200 per day.
Per day. But the wrong type, though.
Yes. So wrong type as in quality of show up. Show up was good, though.
They were enthusiastic women.
Yes.
I'll definitely say they were enthusiastic, but they were looking for something else because there was no congruency. And it's also because of us, we were refining our main offer.
Yes.
Because at first we're just like, we'll do end. And now we're just like, end. And now we're just like,
and. We do one thing. We teach you how to make fun. We teach you how to build your funnels.
Because it ultimately comes down to that. Everything that we do, even if it's like personal development stuff, even if we're talking about money, if we're talking about, your pricing,
content,
everything leads to the funnel at the end of the day. And for example, the women who are even finishing fast track now, they're just like, I need to manage my business. Like, how am I actually what do you do?
Yes.
The funnel's working.
Yeah.
So that's when we end up getting into the business management stuff. But if you're not thinking about the funnel first,
then you don't have
you can waste your time on all that other stuff.
I get that.
But the point is, our first iteration, there was no congruency.
Well, there was poor congruency in that we were going. So the audience was women, obviously, and then women who were looking to increase their income.
And income anyway. It was employment. It was business. It was through all these diverse ways, and we weren't specific enough to say that we are on the end of the business people who want to sell their services,
people who are looking for more clients.
Exactly. So you could be a professional, a doctor, a lawyer, and you could be an engineer, project manager, whatever it is, but you want more clients for your own practice or whatever it is.
Yes.
You could be working for somebody else. You could be a financial advisor working for another company, but you want to get clients in for yourself, then you can work with us. But if you're an employee that does not need any appointments or to get customers in any way, you could be in business development. Business development people need to make constant leads. They need to make constant connections with people to bring business into wherever they work. If you need clients of any sort, you can use a funnel to do that.
Yeah, right? You need a funnel. That's the only way you're going to be able to get clients. So not the only way, obviously.
Yeah, there are other ways if you want to work really hard. But those type of employees we can work with. But so it's not every employee that we can work with. And that's why Seven Thoughts wasn't great, because we weren't calling out our specific people.
Yes.
We were calling people into a room and then half of them weren't the right people.
Yeah, we were getting a lot of people. And like the importance of creating congruency in what you want is also like a limiting belief that we are like you. I mean, you obviously know inherently that there's a limiting belief, and then you don't realize like the scope at which you actually, the detail in which you need to be specific for, right? Is that we always tell women like, oh no, your audience is too broad, too broad, too broad. But then it's like it actually needs to be even lesser than even what we had imagined, which is also just a learning curve.
And I think people don't realize that everything that we teach is a constant path of refinement. Like, it's a constant journey of refinement. Like, you were talking about ads and you're just like, I'm not perfect at ads. You still put out ads that bomb. And that's the whole point.
I have an ad coach. I have coaches. I pay people to teach me how to run ads. No. We never stop learning.
We never stop learning. Like, we might find our signature funnel, but that does not mean that we're perfect at the funnel process. There are things that we're still going to get wrong because it's a whole thing of like testing and seeing how it works. And I mean, we tell people to refine their offer and to refine the audience that they're looking for. We had to do that ourselves.
Yeah, and for our clients, like the one thing. So I just started one of our clients has a one-time offer. If you're part of the fast track and you're part of our community, you know what that is. But it's basically like a mini offer. It's how we liquidate our ads. It's like a club she is like it's a framework that we adopt in our business, just teaching people how to do it, but also doing it for you in our agency clients, basically funding your marketing. It's a long story we'll talk about one day, but for right now, the one-time offer is usually a low ticket offer. So it's a front end low ticket, something that's going to just bring money into the doors, so that you can spend on other things.
And it also like qualifies your customers, which is like so great.
Yes, yeah. So it brings it like literally you're almost pre-screening your people, because if someone can give you like 200 rand, someone can give you 2,000 rand, can give you 20,000 rand, right? But if someone is not willing to part with 200 rand, right? Like, yes, obviously there's a process and yes, there's time and stuff, but like you want to be able to have that information, especially very early on, like who your buyers are, people who are interested. Generally will make micro commitments as they learn more about you, right? It's a values thing, it's a perceptions thing, it's a big thing. So anyway, in the one-time offer, one of the things that the client had suggested was that the sensitivity of her pricing. And now, after a month, I've actually increased the pricing. So the only thing that we've changed in the funnel is the price of the offer, which you would think is a crazy thing to do, in that we've actually made it more expensive. Like, I've increased the price of the offer by like 40%. Damn! Which is crazy insane, because some of us think, oh no, I'm selling, let me just sell more, at the risk of like, I don't know, not selling any or missing, like, you know what I mean? Like, there is a threshold, but like, I'm going to do this again, maybe 3 more times.
Just to see.
Exactly. And if it completely fails, then I can always go back.
It's the same level of work. It's the same product.
Yeah.
Sorry. But you're making more money just from raising the price.
Yes.
Like, you've increased it by 40%.
Yeah.
Which means that you've almost doubled.
Yeah.
That means you've also almost doubled your return.
Yeah.
On what you were doing. And
absolutely,
you only made one change.
One optimization in my funnel.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know why we started talking about this, as we always do. So before we go any further, we'd like to offer you something totally for free, because if you're enjoying this conversation, we want you to level up your experience with something that we like to call the SMART Guide. So the SMART Guide is our signature framework that we use for our clients, for our fast track enrollees, and for our own business, in how we grow, find, build things, find customers, all the things that you need in your business. We have used and developed in this framework. If that is something that you're interested in, click the link below. We would love to send that to you. And if you download it today, we're going to throw in a training which we call the Online Success System, which is one of the fundamental pillars or one of the fundamental principles inside of the SMART framework. So click the link below if that's something that you're interested in. And let's continue with the laughs.
So you were asking what I was thinking about, and it's like this signature funnel. And it's something that we're actually wrestling with even now.
Yes.
Because initially
We will always be wrestling. Even if you
Always.
watch this in 2035, we are
Old
currently
ladies.
wrestling with our funnel. Welcome. It is the year 2035. It is December
Yes,
29. We're still wrestling with our funnel. Nothing new here.
nothing new.
Yeah.
So, and initially it was something that we wanted to use internally for ourselves. And then we're like, no, but we can also use this for our clients. Oh, no, we can also use this as a lead magnet. Like, it literally is something that it keeps evolving, but it's because you know your customer, but you also know where you want your customer to end up.
Yeah.
And you know what the most valuable part is? The most valuable part is us showing you how.
So you know what you're saying? I would just want to add with something you always also say is that you're actually operating like by the refinement process is actually it's a function of love. Right? It's to say I've discovered something that could potentially help the person. I want to make sure that more people get this, but also that they're better serviced while getting this, right? So I know you're thinking, but increasing the price inherently means that I've got more money for advertising, which means I can spend more money on advertising, which means I can reach more people. So like, it's a thing of saying like, I can't have a knick-knack business or a Mickey Mouse business. Like it is we will always say this moral obligation to tell as many people as possible about this thing. And so, by playing it small, we are then limiting that and not operating in a place of where we need to be.
There's also perception tied to price, and that's what people don't realize. And this is something that, I'm sorry, Americans, y'all have caught on to it. You sell everything for $5,000. $5,000 in South African rands is like 85,000 rand. So please, and in South Africa, you can buy a car. Okay. But
Not a whole car.
you can.
Oh yeah, you can.
You
I
can.
suppose.
You really
It's 94,000 actually. not
yeah, it's around about
85.
9, somewhere there.
Yes.
So now, if you have a price, if you price yourself too low, then the perception that people have for the thing that they are buying from you also changes based on that price.
Yeah, it's that Louis Vuitton thing. Yeah.
Exactly. So even for us with the pricing of the club, the thinking behind us like dramatically undercharging for club was for us to reach as many people as possible. But there's a thinking that there are people who are not investing in it
Yeah.
because it is it's priced so low.
Yeah.
And we're not helping anyone if they are being turned away by the low price.
Yeah.
And even if we justify it in our sales copy to say that we would love to give this away for free, but we won't because we know
You
that
must
you don't
feel it.
value. There must be some sort of commitment that you make, because that money coming off of your bank account every single month should also be the positive pressure for you to do something about the value that you're getting on a monthly basis. So I remember there was a point, Club She was initially 250 Rand. Now it is 149 Rand, and now it's going back up to 450 now.
Or 750 or 950.
It could be anywhere, right? And the reason why, and I remember years ago, it was also a question of 450. And members of the club, they were just like, we would pay like $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
And even now, people are just like, listen, for what I learned and what I'm learning now, I'm willing to pay that because they see the value.
Yeah.
But it's also that push for them to say, oh, this money is going off. What have I done about it?
Yeah.
And that's the important part, because we know what is inside. People can, I mean, how many times do we get messages from people saying, people who don't comment, people who don't say anything to us, but they've done something with the work and they've gotten results from the work. Because in the background, they're just those people who are just like, I'm not going to comment, I'm not going to do anything, but I've done the work.
Yeah.
And we know that what's inside the club by itself can get you really far on its own.
No, it's value packed.
Pricing.
There's like a bajillion things in there.
Dude, the pricing on itself it's important for perception as well, because it serves the person knowing the right price, but you have to experiment with it. For example, the lady that we spoke to on a discovery call, right? She prices her work. Basically, she only takes like a 5,000 Rand margin on her garments. But what if we just told her that you must always take 10,000? Whatever the cost price is, add 10. Right? And for her, it's a worth thing for her to say that my work is worth me getting 10,000 Rand per garment.
Yeah. But sometimes, right? I think yes, there is this thing about limiting belief. And I don't know where I got this. I picked it. I think it's like an internet word. I'm like, I don't know if I love it. I don't know if I hate it, but I've said it 3 times already. So I don't know if it's attached itself to me. But anyway, there is this idea, this perception, right? That you, as any random mode person, can charge exorbitant prices. And I think when your customer react to those prices, rather than, okay, so obviously in reason, right, is that rather than dismissing the customer, ask why. And it could be that you really aren't good enough.
And that's the thing. If you validated the thing that you're working on, we saw the quality of her work.
Yes.
And we were just I was comparing it to Orapeleng Mudutli. He's got that same style.
Yes.
Right? And he's also very experienced. But remember, at some point he was not experienced also.
Yeah.
And he gained popularity. Right? And then that also added to the value of the work that he does. But he was never cheap. Right? Even before the popularity. But he was just, technically, he's a craftsman, right?
Okay.
So now, the whole team, right? The craftsmanship of the work that comes out of it is insane. So with the lady that we spoke to, the craftsmanship, when you look at it, it's just dude, you can see the lines, you can see what, how everything falls, her silhouettes, it's beautiful, right? And at that level of work, other people who are producing at that level of work, are charging
those prices. Yeah,
there are people who
you
don't
do need
have
to be
that level of work.
competitive.
Yes,
Yeah.
that craftsmanship.
Yeah,
who are charging equal to her or even more.
I suppose, but just make sure you're good enough. We are really good. We are.
Okay, so funny thing. So last thought, right? Because we don't like long podcasts. It just doesn't work out. Was V said something very interesting. He's like, we've had these long journeys that led to 4 explosive months.
Yeah. Okay.
And all those lessons that culminate into what's happening now makes it seem, it's that whole thing of overnight success.
Yes. Welcome to your overnight successes that have been grafting since 2018.
Yes.
No, Kapana, not 2018. I got married in 2013. I cut my hair in 2013, which means my business, my NH Co. I started in 2013. I had a restaurant. I built NH Co. I asked all the people for all their money. I delivered. Come on.
My
This
first brick and
overnight
mortar
success.
business was in 2012. My workout studio, where I got customers with pamphlets and Facebook.
Facebook is a powerful thing.
It's so powerful. I had no clue what I was doing.
Even at this day of the Lord,
underestimate.
do not underestimate Facebook.
So all of those things, when people say, I think I've tried to use almost every single advertising format, whether I've done it myself or for a client. I never thought that. I literally put pegs on, those things at
a spa. Yes.
And that strategy alone almost tripled.
Oh, that's a really good strategy, especially for a local business.
That's when I learned that location is not a flippin' lie.
No, of course not.
It's not a lie. I moved 3 times and every single one had a completely different. And at the time of moving, I thought I'd built loyalty, but location.
No, people are loyal to how it fits, how your business fits into their lives. Yeah.
And that's how you take those lessons. If you can take lessons from a brick and mortar business, like a physical establishment, and say that it's just a medium. So the same thing happens on social media. Location is important. If you have your content on a platform that makes sense to the people that you are talking to, then they will gravitate towards it. There are people right now killing themselves on YouTube. If they move to TikTok, all the difference, right? And obviously there's the dynamics of the algorithm and things like that, but you have to understand that people go onto different platforms for different reasons and it fits into their life differently. So they might be struggling to consume your content on YouTube because they go for different reasons to YouTube, but they will eat it up, lap it up on TikTok because they go to TikTok for a different reason.
Okay, that's a different topic. We're going to stop right there and we will pick this up another time. Okay, bye.